All right, let's kick things off, shall we? Get ready because tonight we're diving deep into a League One matchup that could really shake things up at the top.
Yeah.
Marseille taking on Monaco at the Velodrome. And this one, oh, it's got all the makings of a classic Friday night thriller under the lights.
Absolutely. Can't wait for this one. We've got two teams in top form. Marseille, they're sitting pretty in third place with 23 points. And then you've got Monaco breathing down their necks in second, just a bit ahead with 26. We're talking genuine contenders for the title here.
Now, what really makes this match even juicier is something a little strange.
Yeah.
Historically, Marseille, even with the home advantage at the Velodrome, they've kind of struggled against Monaco. You'd think that home crowd would give them an edge, but, well, the numbers tell a bit of a different story.
It's one of those funny little quirks, you know? It's what makes football so unpredictable. Just looking at the stats over this whole century at Marseille, they've only managed to win about 25% of their home league matches when they go up against Monaco. It's almost like Monaco has this, I don't know, this mental edge, some kind of psychological thing going on when they step onto that pitch.
All right, so let's unpack this a bit, figure out why this matchup is so exciting. First off, their recent form. Both teams are coming in hot. Monaco has bagged 2 straight wins in League One, and Marseille, they're not far behind, 2 wins out of their last 3. But there's a twist.
Yep, Monaco is coming off a tough midweek loss in the Champions League. They went down to 10 men early in the match, and then, to add insult to injury, they conceded a gut-wrenching goal right at the death. That kind of defeat can really stick with you, you know? So the big question is, how are they going to bounce back? How will that affect them mentally, physically, when they face Marseille?
Definitely adds another layer of intrigue to it all. We've got to factor in that fatigue, especially if Monaco's manager decides to stick with a similar starting lineup. We'll be keeping a close eye on that when they release the lineup, that's for sure.
And speaking of lineups, there's a good chance that Marseille might have some key players coming back from injury, which could be a big, big boost for them.
Exactly. Let's talk about those potential game changers. We've got our supercomputer here at Kip's Moto working overtime, crunching the numbers, and there's some seriously exciting possibilities, especially with those potential returns from Marseille.
For sure. Now let's dig into this curious trend, this thing about Marseille struggling at home against Monaco. It's not just a recent blip. This pattern goes back decades.
I know. It really is baffling, considering how strong Marseille is overall. You'd think they'd be untouchable at home, but for whatever reason, Monaco seems to have their number. Just look at their last 3 meetings at the Velodrome. Each time, Monaco has managed to walk away with at least a point.
It's wild, right? And, you know, in those matches, Monaco really leaned into this super effective counterattacking style. They just exploited any little defensive slip-up, any vulnerability they could find in that Marseille backline.
So true. And with Monaco's speed and the talent they've got up front, that's a tactic they could easily repeat in this match, don't you think?
Absolutely. If Marseille's defense isn't locked in, super disciplined and organized, Monaco could absolutely punish them on the break. That's something our predictive models at Tips Moto are really factoring in as we break down this match.
Now let's get tactical, shall we? Because this is where it gets really, really interesting.
Yeah. We've got 2 very different managerial styles going head-to-head here. De Zerbi, Marseille's manager, he's known for his aggressive, all-out attacking approach. But there's a but. Their defense has been, let's say, a little shaky lately, especially on their home turf. I mean, they've conceded 3 goals in each of their last 2 league games at the Velodrome.
Yikes. A leaky defense against a team as potent as Monaco. That's a recipe for disaster, right?
Right. Now, on the other side, you've got Hütter, Monaco's manager. He prefers a more balanced approach. Think defensive solidity as a top priority, but without sacrificing their attacking threat. This approach has given Monaco a really strong away record this season. Just 4 goals conceded on the road so far, which is impressive.
That's a stat you can't ignore. It does make you think that Monaco might try to absorb that pressure from Marseille, keep things tight at the back, and then, bam, hit them on the counter, exploiting those defensive weaknesses we've been talking about.
Spot on. That's why this tactical battle, this clash of styles, could be the ultimate decider in this match. The big question is, can Marseille shore up their defense, plug those leaks, without losing their attacking edge?
Yeah.
Or will Monaco's disciplined defense and their lethal counterattacking prove to be too much for them? We're crunching all of this at Tips Moto, trying to see how it all plays out.
And speaking of Tips Moto, we've got some great news for our listeners who are, looking to make some smart bets on this match.
We do. Our supercomputer, she's been burning the midnight oil, analyzing every single angle we can think of. Recent form, Head-to-head records, key matchups, those potential injuries, even, and this is cool, even the psychological impact of that Champions League loss for Monaco, we're leaving no stone unturned.
It's all about giving you guys, our listeners, that edge, those insights you need to make informed decisions, those winning bets.
Yeah, and we're not just stopping there. Oh no, we're going deeper, much deeper. We're diving into those tactical nuances, looking for those potential weaknesses, those individual battles that could shift the momentum. Like, how effective will Marseille's high press be against Monaco's build-up play? Does Monaco have a plan to exploit those gaps we talked about, those defensive vulnerabilities on the flanks, out wide? We're looking at all of that.
It's all about those finer points,
Yeah.
right? Those little advantages that can make all the difference in a match as close as we think this one's going to be.
And that's what we're all about at Tips Moto. We're not just giving you those surface level predictions. No way. We're giving you the deep dive, the in-depth analysis, so you understand not just what might happen, but why.
Exactly. So if you really want to take your betting game to the next level, well, you know what to do. You got to follow Tips Moto. All our social media channels will be dropping our expert predictions, betting tips, all those juicy insights for this match and loads more.
Yep. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're always updating, always posting the latest news, analysis, and of course, those winning predictions. You don't want to miss those.
Now let's get to those predicted lineups, because I know you're all itching to know who's going to be on the pitch. Sources tell us that Marseille's starting 11, well, it could look a little something like this. Geronimo Rulli minding the net, with a backline of Gabriel Murillo, Leonard Bellardi, and Jeffrey Kondogbia holding things down.
In the midfield, we're expecting to see Luis Enrique, Valentin Rongier, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and Adrien Rabiot pulling the strings. And up front, leading the charge, we could very well see that dynamic trio of Mason Greenwood, Eli Wahi, and Neil Maupay. That's some serious firepower.
No doubt that's a lineup built to attack. But, as we've been saying, their defense, that's the question mark, especially against a team like Monaco with so many weapons.
For sure. Now, looking at Monaco's potential starting 11, it's just as strong. Radaso Majeki between the sticks. Defensively, we could see Vanderson, Thilo Kehrer, Mohamed Salisu, and Isier Ouattara locking it down.
In the middle of the park, they've got that reliable duo, Elliot Matazo and Mamadou Koulibaly, controlling the tempo.
And then you've got that attacking trident, Magnus Ekliush, Takumi Minamino, Alexander Golovin, all feeding the beast, Fuller and Balogun leading the line. Talk about a nightmare for defenders.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Talk about what each team is really looking to achieve in this match. First, Marseille. They are desperate for their first home win in the league since September. They've been stumbling at the Velodrome lately, so a win here, that would be a massive confidence boost.
Right. Plus, a win would catapult them above Monaco, straight into second place. The stakes are high for Marseille. They really need to prove they can overcome this Monaco curse, if you will, on their own turf.
Meanwhile, Monaco, they're coming in looking to keep their spot in the top two. They've been incredibly consistent all season, especially away from home where, like we said, they boast one of the best defensive records in the entire league.
Their game plan, well, it's likely to be all about frustrating Marseille, keeping things super tight at the back and then hitting them on the counter with their pace and that lethal attack. It's classic clash of styles, attack versus defense. It's going to be a real nail-biter, that's for sure.
And remember, folks, all this analysis, these insights, it's all brought to you by Tips Moto, your go-to for smarter betting.
We live and breathe football here. We're totally dedicated to helping you make those informed betting decisions, the kind that put money in your pocket. We combine cutting-edge technology, expert analysis, years of experience, all to give you the tools you need to win.
We're not about those random off-the-cuff predictions. Nope. We dig deep. We crunch the data, consider every possible angle, and then present you with the most likely outcomes. We want you to feel confident in your bets, confident in Tips Moto.
And speaking of being part of something, a community, make sure you're following us on all those social media channels. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We're always sharing those exclusive tips, doing deep dives, having fun, engaging with our followers, the whole 9 yards.
We're building a whole community here, a community of folks who are passionate about football and who want to up their betting game.
And the best part, it's totally free. So come join the party, follow us, and let's start racking up those wins together.
Now, before we wrap this all up, we want to leave you with a little something to think about, a question to ponder. As we head into this epic showdown between Marseille and Monaco, we've talked about it all, right? Marseille's history, how they just haven't been able to crack Monaco at home, those defensive issues at the Velodrome lately, and how strong Monaco has been on the road. So, the big question, the one we're all dying to know, can Marseille, I don't know, finally break this curse, get that crucial win in front of their home crowd? Or will Monaco, will they just continue to be their kryptonite and steal another result at the Velodrome? What do you think?
It's the question, isn't it? The one everyone's asking. I mean, looking at it on paper, Marseille, they've got the attacking talent to blow away, well, almost any team in this league. But, and it's a big but, that defense, it needs to step up big time, especially going up against a team like Monaco, a team that is so clinical, so deadly when they get their chances.
And don't forget that mental side of things. Monaco, they seem to love playing at the Velodrome. They walk in with this swagger, this confidence. It's almost like they know they've got Marseille's number.
It's a battle of wills, for sure.
Yeah.
Can Marseille's attack break down that disciplined Monaco defense? Can they keep their cool, avoid those back-breaking mistakes at the back? That's what it'll come down to.
We've done our homework here at Tips Moto. We've crunched the numbers, looked at all the data, factored in everything we can think of, and honestly, this one is a toss-up. It could go either way.
But hey, that's what we love about this game, right? The unpredictability, the drama, those moments of brilliance that can turn a match on its head.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And that's why we do what we do here at Tips Moto. We're all about helping you, our listeners, make those smart bets, get the most out of this beautiful game.
So you want to know what our supercomputer is saying, what our final prediction is for this match. You know what to do. Head over to our social media.
That's right. We'll be sharing it all. Our predictions, our top betting tips, all the latest analysis, everything you need to stay ahead of the curve. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Don't miss out. Follow Tips Moto and let's win together.